father is 94 years old. He's seen a lot of things. He's in his right mind, of course. All of that. My mother and father are from the South. My mother's 70-something. Did you like that? But anyway, I asked my father, what is the difference now? Now, according to him, he thinks that, and I'm in line with him sometimes, desegregation was probably one of the worst things that could have happened to our community. That's his opinion. But I said, but Daddy, people were struggling. The community, our community, we didn't have, you all didn't have much. What is the difference? He said there was a willingness to do, and people had respect, and they cared. And there was a pride that went along with that. Even though you may not have had much, what you had, you respected that. You respected your space. You respected the people down the street. And I said, so is that the difference? Because my father talks about, he's been in the same neighborhood for the last 40 years. He's 50 years actually. He talks about the difference in how things have just completely done a flip. Now, I just personally believe that traditionally speaking, I don't think that the classroom, for the most part, is tailored to suit the children that we have in the classroom today. That's just how I feel about it. Right. I have 2 boys, 2 sons, 2 very different. 5-year-old is just completely so, all over the place. And I have an older son that has a medical issue. And I'm looking at their needs, and it just seems like that the classroom is kind of like 20 or 30 years behind.
Let me jump in there.
And you're on point.
You're totally on point. I actually did this workshop yesterday, and some parents asked the almost exact same question. And when they say that their needs are not being met, there's one specific reason why. One, and this is not being sexist, but African American males are not going into education.
You said they what?
They're not going into education. You have mostly females educating.
So the majority of them, when you look at the statistics, which I've looked up,
are females.
The fact of the matter is, by the year 2016, our children will be taught by middle-aged Caucasians.
Yeah.
Women.
And that's just because of the fact that
I have to pick my 5-year-old.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get your numbers.
But that's the
And I have a real issue with that, which is one of the reasons why my youngest son is at Paul Robeson Malcolm X. We started it all at African Center Schools with my oldest son. We did in Saroma, we did Malcolm X, we did we did all of those, and then we ended at Paul Robeson until finally, there were some differences, and then I voted with my feet. I left the district, and we went tuition based, and I didn't have a lot of complaints because, frankly, I was putting my
preceded something.
Yeah, because I was paying, but my life changed financially, and so here we are. Now, my younger son, I've really been burying myself in the stats and the research with Black males in the classroom. I mean, I've just done hours and hours of reading and different things, and there's some things that I really, oh God, and I'm not an educator, and I'm just wondering, why does there not seem to be a 5 alarm about this?
About that.
Why is this not an emergency? Because it is.
Now let me jump in there. Let me jump back in there because her question was, why isn't it a 5-alarm blaze to say, where the heck are the African American males in education? So now I thought about it and I said, well, let's do a little bit more research.
Okay.
There's one school that has an accelerated program to bring in African American males who aspire to be educators quickly through the program, which is Marygrove. It's called the GRIO program.
All right.
And
GRIO?
And it's for African American males who aspire to go into the education field. It'll get them through a bachelor's in education and get them certified and endorsed. And I think it's 3 years.
Really?
Now, how many people are taking advantage of that program? Not many. Not many. But is it going to change? Probably not. So what are we going to do? Because our kids still have to be educated, right?
Yeah, they do.
And does the culture does that play a part in terms of their education?
Yes.
Who's standing in front of them?
Yes.
I taught for 7.5. I taught for 8 years before I went into administration. I mean, never had a problem. But those boys in my classroom, they got something that those girls didn't get. You see what I'm saying? Because I was that African American male standing in front of them. But they didn't get. They got a little bit something extra that those female students didn't get.
You're telling the truth. When my son was at Cornerstone, thank God there was a man there by the name of Mr. Fight. He was excellent. He was the chess coach. He was the math teacher, and he was a black man. But I saw something in my son that just lit up. Now Fight didn't play, but there was something about it. My youngest is now, they do have a high concentration of male teachers there, and that's one of the main reasons why I got him there, and he's gonna stay, because I really feel like that's important. I'm a single parent, you know, but I just think my sons, you know, I've always asked, why is Lil Wayne's voice stronger in my son's ear than my voice?
You want to answer that?
And you know, but listen, this was what I came up with.
Right.
I said, well, you know what? In my hood, we don't really see the benefit of education. I live in the hood. Just got broken into 2 weeks ago. I was wiped out. All of the boys are on the streets. They're hanging out at the corner. They sell weed. They smoke weed. They sell dope. They still go ahead.
I can help Mama. The root of it, because I know we got to roll. The root of it is love. Period. Mama, if you ain't giving me your love, Mama, I'm not helping you. Period. You know, I'm not a violent person, so I'm not gonna lay a hand on you, but I'm taking everything else. Why? You're not gonna give me no love. That's the issue. In my family, all of us, you going love, man. You don't get love, you go crazy. I mean, you behave improper. Not that it's your plan, not that it's your intention. It's like a joke inside, just to come out of you because you did not get that love. I can't get a hug, I'm gonna go crazy. Now, but why Lil Wayne got the influence? Lil Wayne got the swagger. You know what I mean? I'm a trap star. Again, I told you, I spit bars from behind the bars. I spit fire and I don't burn down houses. When I come in the building, I got the what? The people start pounding and pounding. Your daughter, she want to wiggle. Because I'm playing the microphone like I'm dribbling the ball because I'm a baller. I'm a trap star. So they already get the light. Then Lil Wayne, how do he stand out? Man, my daddy, man. Not my real daddy. Right. You know, not my real biological, man. But my man who I call my daddy, man, gave me $1 million, man. Not illegal.
I got tattoos all over my neck and face and everything. What other job can I get besides this entertainment?
This entertainment. So
I mean, honestly.
But that's
why.
Deceptive. So once we tap in, because like I said, what the DPN taught me this, the men at DPN, they explained to me that your very presence makes the difference. I'm like, yeah, right, they got Lil Wayne. This is male. Right, it's gonna work.
He's a presence.
See? And so we ain't gonna slow down, like I said, to communicate and like get that understanding through dialogue. We be like, man, let's get going. I'm gonna do a concert. I ain't got time to fool with y'all. Let me get out of here. Get Mom, I'm ready to go. Mom, I already shared with you, yes, Mama, I done did these lessons, I did this. Mama, yeah, Mom, I want a Bugatti. What is a Bugatti? See, she wants a Bugatti. I don't give you no booty for Bugatti, girl.
Can you even spell it?
You know,
but they hear it in a rap song.
They know what
so
it is.
Check them there. You know, can you spell it? He like, man, yeah.
Right. They want the snowman. You like a snowman? It's not wintertime. What are you talking about?
When he checked me, because of the time that we have to live the truth, with all respect, my father, if you're going to check me, man, I need to see the check that you signed it for me. Nah, you know what I mean? Because if nothing else, I did kind of learn how to do math. Even if it's just 1 + 1 = 2. I know that right now that, you know, you the one, I'm nothing, so 1 × 1 is 0. So I see why you ain't gave me no check yet, but you still want to check me.
And say go to school, you'll get a job.
My mama want to check me too. She thinks she can check me. She already done told me the commitment she did. She done did all this work stuff. She don't got nothing.
She don't have no job.
I laid on the table.
She don't have a job, but she keep telling me to go to school and I may get a job. And you just see how that disconnection is there.
There's no benefit of education in the neighborhood. We don't see it on our block. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we got to encourage our children to have our own businesses, to educate ourselves, and to have our own holistic health care. That's something we have to encourage. Great.
For my last thing.
Great. Here you go, sir. That's for you.
I graduated from the University of Georgia. I'm from Detroit. If I didn't play football, I wasn't going to college. See? I graduated from the University of Georgia. I actually played in the NFL for a year and a half with the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, let me go into this a little bit further. I was around. There was something they called a rookie camp, a rookie symposium that we had to go to, and they put us that sat down and they told us, this is how you act. This is how, when the media comes in, this is how you talk to them.
Right. This is what you do.
Like, we could not hold an interview.
No. Without
but guess what happens? If you miss this camp, you get fined a lot of money. So then, what happens? We go out, and we don't have people. I didn't have a father. My father died when I was 5. So we don't have a whole bunch of people who tell us, take this money that you get and start a business.
Right. Invest it.
Invest. Save.
Right.
You know what they do to the African American athlete?
They spend some money.
First thing I'm doing is going to get a Rolex,
Spend some money.
big car, a big house,
That's it.
right? Not knowing that if I tear my knee out, which I did,
Of course.
within the first
It's
8 months,
over.
No.
that money was gone.
And all that stuff depreciated.
Absolutely. So what happens to those folks who said, I'm not going to go to class, I'm going to be a star athlete at this university, I'm going to play spades all day,
Right.
and I'm just going to play football at this university. So what happens to
All
them?
time.
They end up going home, not in the NFL,
Right.
but, and I say this because those folks who are not emulating those rap stars, you got the athletes.
Right.
Yeah.
You got the athletes.
Getting caught with guns.
So if I don't, if I'm not gonna be a rap artist, I better be an athlete.
Basketball star.
Because that's the only way I'm gonna go to college,
And
right?
get all this money.
And then, but what people don't know is only 1% going to the NFL.
Same as
Only
the fire
1%.
department.
I've
Only
talked to these
1% of it.
boys at Central. I talked to these boys here to let them know that if your grades, if you're a student athlete, student first, athlete second. You're a student athlete.
Nobody don't know that. It's the first time I heard this.
Student
Nobody told me that in DCS.
athlete.
So he
Right.
redeemed them, so now
You see what I'm saying?
Told me
You
that
got
in
you.
DCS.
And the fact of the matter being is, they don't. All they see is the limelight.
Right.
They don't see
And the
when I have a conversation with you. I have a bachelor's in education. I have a master's in education. I have a specialist degree. They don't see that part. All they see is, hey man, how long did you play football? They don't want to talk about. They don't want to talk about what really matters. Who cares that I played football? You see what I'm saying? But that's not important. That's not important. That I went to school and I actually went to college and actually learned something. They just want to know how was it in Cincinnati?
Right. Oh, mind the closing, because I know I had to roll too. The only thing to make it work though, y'all, we gotta have our schedules. See, if you don't book
Yeah,
me with
'cause
your
I gotta
schedule,
get my son.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
We all
You
gonna
don't
have to
book
go.
me
That's
with your
gonna always
schedule.
come up if we
See,
don't
that's
actually
the
set it
part I'm
out
saying
what we
about
gonna do
how we have to
and
do
plan
it
it.
all
You get the
time. See,
evaluation?
because we all stars, we got the all-time great. This one I'm sharing, that's why y'all got my number. Sometimes I already knew it's gonna transcend it, it's gonna transcend it, it's gonna strength.
If you guys can do an evaluation real quick, just some put your name on it. Yeah, and folks, like I said, we would love to finish this conversation because we know that you guys have
Can we leave
But
out
you know
with this
something
show?
that you said
We
that I
set
like
the
about the
next one, that's
classroom,
the
let me tell you something about
I help
classroom.
Evaluation from
We
The
gotta do
books
it
are too
together.
thick
Like,
and
no, I
the kids
can't.
don't go, the kids don't go have it.
Okay.
Them books don't even make sense.
Yeah, we gonna connect.
You already up.
Give me your number, mama.
Yeah, they don't care about them books.
You up. So you just said, you the one that only.
Oh, we got a pen
I
right
met
there.
a Chinese,
It's right there on the
School, I can't let this go. I gotta fight my fight to get it back.
guys-
I might
We
become
gonna
a
help you.
majorette. Anything
We gonna
I
help
can
you.
take to
I know
get
some
my-
of you guys
We gotta
have to
do
go,
it all.
but,
We gotta get
she
those
might-
extracurricular activities
And I'm gonna make
going.
sure I bring that camera for the next meeting so y'all can just see where I'm
Yeah,
coming
see the
from,
pictures
you know,
and stuff.
why I'm so
The difference.
highly motivated to switch this around.
To-
And like I said, if I have to be a
We gotta
majorette,
create it
I have two
ourselves,
boys and
sis.
2 girls.
Well, bring them in. Bring them in. So we can
We gonna create it
Well,
ourselves,
why I
sis.
said
That's
I'm
what we
willing
gotta
to,
do.
Even because I will stay, it doesn't matter to me, even if it was late hours, even if I had to come in after
Yeah,
4 o'clock,
yeah.
because to me that's better. Everybody has to get their children,
Right.
everybody has to do things.
Right.
Then we can still communicate from here on out through emails, any ideas, just
Yes.
email, call, text. Even if we have to meet up and go have a cup of coffee somewhere, it really
That's
doesn't
it.
matter to me.
We
you
gotta
know?
get our schedules.
Everything doesn't really necessarily
it.
have to take place in the Parent Resource Center, or we can't make a move. We can still come up with
Do
ideas.
it on our own.
I think it's good that we do try to get in touch with these principals and see if we can hold an assembly. Your story for the football team, I feel like that would be a very motivational thing. Everything that you just told us to stand up there in front of all these students,
Right.
all the Cody team, the football players, and just let them know that don't make this all your dream. Let them know you get the education and the football all in the same breath, because the football may not be around all the time. They need to hear that, even the basketball team. And if we have to pull in different mentors to try to find certain people to come and speak and talk to these kids and come up with all kind of fun workshops, then I'm just ready to act and not talk. I'm just tired of talking. I'm ready for action.
I'm right here.
I don't have the gas or nothing to come up here and sit and, okay, we're going to chill, and then I just wasted 3 hours of my time. Like right now, my son probably standing outside the school.
Right.
You know, like
So we
that.
got to be able to
Yeah,
move
yeah, very
fast.
strict.
Right.
So they gonna be
Right. He gonna be like, I don't care what you was doing, mama.
But I have a
And I was gonna say that, you know, I've always been placed in the exact perfect position to succeed, and so you got to be able to tell that story. They be like, well, how did you wind up at Cass Tech or Indiana U or in the Marine Corps, on the fire department as the Michigan State pool champ? You know, I've always met the best, so I know you the best. 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 I know you, because I've always been placed in front of the best, and it's for a reason. Why? I'm a Thursday child. And you asked that question. I got to make our collective vocation, building and developing our community, restoring people to our original grace. I gave it to you on the flyers that I gave them, and it's our Nguzo Sabo. It's our ancient moral value system, where we actually can get into the days of the week, what they mean. This is every day of the week and what they mean, and it's on our website. But it's also a rites of passage program that we all got to be initiated into it. We haven't got that information. We actually miss great goods. It's like almost having a great Auntie Wilma. You never got what she left you because you just never knew she was your aunt. So once we,
are you familiar with the Union?
The Union. Is that?
Jason Wilson, he has a program called the Union. It's a African American Center mentor program.
All right.
But we'll definitely talk about
He's
it.
one of the Detroit Parent Network. I think I met him here. So yeah, wonderful.
Would you guys mind if I were to ask you some questions?
I want you to ask me some questions
Yeah, you're
quickly.
very outspoken. And I
Wonderful.
Quickly, okay.
Yes.
If I can I maybe stand over here?
Yes.
You might stick around for like 5 minutes.
I'm not in
You're not hurt. Okay, great. Thank you. So, I mean, I really enjoyed listening to the conversation, just kind of a fly on the wall. You're really passionate, all the parents here. Where does that come from?
I'm actually passionate about my delivery because I am a Thursday child. So, you know, I have a great, sure, to whom much is given, much is required. So, like I said, I have been placed in the exact perfect position to succeed. That's why I wind up at Indiana U or Cass Tech or in the Marine Corps or on the fire department or as the Michigan State pool champ. I've always met the best. And then I also had to do what was required in that best situation. So everything that they told me to do, I actually did it. So now I'm in a position where I got 1,000 instances that I can name where I was put in front of the very best people and I did everything they told me to do and I wound up getting everything that I needed. So now I know that I got a great gift. I know that I got a lot to give, and so as a Thursday child, I got to make our collective vocation. I got to build and develop our communities and restore people to their original greatness. When I first heard that, I was like, wow, like that's a lot. But now I can look back at my life. I've always been placed in exact position to succeed. So that is why I've been put in such a great position, because I got a great work to do. And so I got to actually help everybody in the world remember what day of the week they were born on, remember what their purpose is, remember what great gift they have that's unlike any other person. And when everybody does that, they stay inner directed. They got so much to do for themselves to figure out what they got to do on their own day that they not in your business. They not worrying about what you're supposed to be doing. They not outer directed. They not fighting in school. Or they're not doing all the different things that they were talking about today. Most of it comes down to us knowing our purpose. It's almost like having a house and you built it without no basement, no foundation, and now you steady building this house and you steady building, and it's all going to be shaky up here at the top because they didn't have no foundation. And so now they're in school, they learn it, and they doing all this stuff, but their foundation is really, really shaky. And so I really be passionate about giving this information, but I'm really not passionate or attached to the outcome because I'm doing exactly what I came here to do. And that's all I'm supposed to be doing is giving the information. I don't really have to be attached on whether they receive it or not, because that's how we can get our children to be confident. They don't have to have any judgment now because they just know I'm doing what I came here to do. It doesn't matter if somebody gives me a thumbs up. It don't matter if you judge me or not. I know I'm doing what I came here to do. I don't need nobody else to tell me that. And that's what we got to give our youth. And I would like them to get it at an early age. I was 42 when I got it. Now, I don't want everybody to have to wait till they're in their 40s to get information that could help them at a young age. And so that's where my passion.
Do you have kids?
I have a 6-year-old, I have an 8-year-old, I have a 10-year-old, and I have a 20-year-old. So I actually raised my 20-year-old by myself, and so that was the goal, was to be able to get some children and raise it with my husband. So we was able to come together and get an opportunity to do that for a second chance. So you're able to catch me online at www.cbpm.org/Wealth Building Network. If you want the information to help change your life and get your purpose and do what you need to do, you can definitely reach us online and call us on 313-820-6549.
Why do you come to the Parent Resource Center? Why engage in these workshops and these conversations?
Because we have to meet the people. The numbers are the numbers. Because this is a place where they have already organized events. They already have people that are actively wanting to change their children's life. This is a place where I can come and get my numbers, so I can actually meet and reach out to people that are willing to do something different. Not just, I go all around the world giving this message, but I come to places like this because it's almost like a warm market. I don't have to get as much resistance in places like this because people are already here ready to get involved and get activated and get powerful.
Did you grow up in the Detroit school system?
Yeah, I went to Cass Tech.
Okay, and how was it different when you were going through the school system compared to now? Your own kids going through the public school system here in Detroit.
I think the main way that is different is because my educational level is different. And so I look at the whole system in a different way than when I looked at it. When I was growing up, I actually was buying all the things that my parents told me, which they said, go to school, you're going to get a job. And so I went to school, man, I did the best. I graduated at the top of my class. And so then I realized now at the age that I am, even though I did wind up on the fire department, I didn't get the job that I went to school for, because I went to Indiana U because it was the best accounting school. And I have an accounting business, but I didn't get an accounting job. And so that's where my focus has changed. I know now I got to actually encourage my daughter. Thank heavens I got some of the information when she was still in high school. She was about 16, so I was at least able to arm her with some good information, not just tell her what my parents told me, which I was telling her, hey, just go to school. If you go to school, man, I got you covered. I give you everything, and then we hoping that eventually you're going to get a job. But no, I had to hopefully I caught her in enough time to say, no, in addition to going to school, you got to have your own business. You got to actually be doing the stuff that you got to do for your family on your own. You can't depend on some job that you're going to get later on. Matter of fact, you need your own business right now. You can't wait around to after you get to school. You got to actually go to school right now doing some business. So that's what
and I don't have a photographic camera. I never check that. I will forget.
I would describe it as being inefficient and not actually doing what is required to educate our children. If people are not getting proper education, I always ask any child one question: what's your nationality? What is your birthday? How do you own
he's gonna have to come back.
And how do you own money?
He's gonna have to do
They don't
morning.
teach you that in school. I know
I mean, that's the only way we can do it. Unless you want to close all the centers, and everybody just go down.
None of them call me.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you don't know those words.
Ain't leave me alone, but I know that.
How are they going to do it?
Like, I don't know, no, you can't do that.
You don't know your purpose. You don't know your purpose.
I just thought about it, and for some reason, I'm just thinking about that. How are we going to do this?
You don't own
I
any
said,
land.
did you ask us to
So I got,
get this?
okay, so that means you'll do
So
from
they actually,
11
you get a mortgage or a deed, you own land.
Doing
We all know that's not gonna work. Right now, we're in a state of emergency.
So you
Everybody
be
got
here
mortgage
from
deeds.
9 to.
Yeah, we both
That
here.
stuff is really inefficient. And if you don't got gold and silver, you don't own money. So those four questions are not being addressed in school, and that's why we as a people are not learning.
11. Is that right?
What do you think are the benefits
Yeah.
of these new
Cars are
parent
here in a
resource
minute.
centers? I mean, they're a year and a half old.
Yeah, I got an email back
I mean,
when I
I
was
was
here. I was
surprised
like,
today
all
that
right.
parents have a computer, there's a web computer.
Look,
I mean, what do you
I
think?
have more
Benefit
dozen registration tables. It's never easy.
It's never going to find you expect it.
Meeting in the
So if I get there
and
nice
we
and
have
early,
having
try to do everything I can.
we always do something to change our children's lives. And I think that's the main thing. That's why I come here, because I come here to meet people to actually use the resources and to actually change people's lives right now.
Do you think it's, yeah, do you think it's working? I mean, is this the answer, having
I'll write it
I
out.
think this is the and once we able to make with our people, the answer is gonna be to educate ourselves first, to pay
I'll write
ourselves
it out
first,
real
and
nice.
then
You want
help
flowers?
everybody else. So this is that first step, is getting the information out there. We all need to get better education ourselves as parents. Because most parents don't think they need no education. They actually think they got it. And they actually think that the staff here think they got it to give what they need to the children. We just don't know that we don't know. And that's a dangerous position. That's a dangerous position to be in. And so here at the Detroit Parent Network, we're able to actually help ourselves out of that position by educating and meet other people.
Somebody's got to take you home.
Name is Inti. It's I-N-T-I, capital Y-A-B-A.
Because people don't understand how.
Around here.
It was amazing because people laugh at
Detroit, I work at the Detroit Fire Department, and
Well, that's
I'm
our
a sergeant
policy.
starter on the Detroit Fire Department. And so I live and work in the Detroit
Yeah.
Fire
Eyes. The eyes.
You know I'm mistaken.
The rest of her looks beautiful. How does the eyes?
Operates and how the school district succeeds ultimately.
My children are still in the Detroit Public School System, and so all my students are looking to retire from the Detroit Fire Department in this country. Yes, I plan on having a legacy that I can leave for my children here.
Because you know what, if you had to go,
There's no educational system, so their children will be able to also
Run
live
is my name.
and work
You
in
had to call me. I was not, I was not, run is
Tell me how old you are.
45.
Oh, I mean, I thought you was, I mean, this came.
Yes.
That's about 2 weeks ago they did this. Your call told me to identify parents. It's on me, but you, I keep on. So this just a little. I didn't know all that. All I did was to locate 8 stories around the nation and designated parents. That's all I knew.
It should be.
It's all here, right? She called. I was like, it's my call. And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay.
No, it's not our.
All I know.
It's simple. See, but you know, you had a little, but this is everyday
Yeah.
stuff. You know, stuff changes.
That's the last bit, so you have to, call on those people that you know will.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They just ready on the spot.
She has an emergency list. It's written in gold.
I need you here.
Y'all have a good one. Peace and love, Mom.
Some questions as well.
You guys out here?
I'm sorry.
I got you. What's your schedule like? You know, flex or what?
You know, I'm always flex.
I know you love what you do.
Yeah, I'm always flex. So.
Is it here? Is that right? I'm sorry, the light sometimes.
For a conversation where I'm into the conversation,
But
in the evening.
just a little bit about what I'm doing
In the evening.
journalist and
Wow. 5 or 6.
That's about it.
All this time I've been calling you all day. You ain't been in my conversation. I'm glad you let me let that down. I know now. I have to call you in the evening.
You're not gonna call me. You chop it off.
I'm talking to interested in resource center and what your concerns are. Yeah, so first off, if you could just, for the record, say it's like your first and your last name.
And I'm there. And I'm here. And he's struck. Central, yeah. Here, yeah.
And how old are they?
They are 16 and 5. My 16-year-old is and my 5-year-old is a first grade student and college is about to experience.
Yeah,
So, you know, so we're all engaged in this interesting conversation.
You have a conference call number that we can
The boys call.
This is in humility team.
It's gonna be next week. Something, 11 meetings, something. I don't know.